huge play. Had the big throw against Penn State. I say this, and you know how I felt about said I had been out of stuff. I don't really be knowing I be getting into stuff, and then I realize I got into stuff when I just share simple opinions. You know.
We all know who you're talking to. I don't even know what you're talking about, but the world knows who you're speaking to, even if you don't say names, RC. I don't know.
And you have to also question, RC, if you've been pre-programmed with an AI system that just bot you all day just to get a response.
Oh yeah, they just make that.
Ain't no telling.
I got so many fake quotes
be on
out
standby.
there. So I tweeted that, you know, if you work with someone and they allow you to come on their show, you know, I find it strange that you would allow someone who you know they've had public disagreements with on your show to talk about that person. And what I was talking about in the situation was Stephen A. Smith, Cam Newton, Jason Whitlock, right? Jason Whitlock goes on Cam Newton's show and, you know, he says all these things about Stephen A. Smith, and now Stephen A. Smith responds. It talks about having your own platform, you know, and how you approach it. When you see something like that, Freddie T, because you are the most diplomatic human I know. When we sat down, Channing goes, I know a lot of people that don't like Ryan. I don't know nobody that don't like Freddie.
Right. There's somebody out there.
I ain't never met him. Well, what do you kind of think about that whole ordeal? Because then obviously Stephen A. has to respond as well.
Yeah, I love Cam to death, man, and you know, I do know that Stephen A., based on how things work around ESPN or what I've come to learn along my way the past 4 years is Stephen A. has given so many people opportunities, you know, at that network. He's used that platform of his to help build, you know, the shows that they have. And I also know that he's extended the opportunity to Cam. And that's the part that I think is more saddening or more disappointing, I would say, is if I'm your friend, I say, come to my house, then you come to my house, then you bring somebody in my house that you probably got you know, some sort of inkling that we don't really see eye to eye or mesh well, and that's a bad look. Again, Cam did it for whatever reason Cam did it for. I'm not here to judge that. But as Stephen A. said, you know, post-interview, Stephen A. said, look, Cam, if you're gonna bring up my name, ask questions. Like, if his response is X, why is it X? Like, let's have a conversation about it and create facts, bring it to the surface. So I don't want to get into the whole back and forth piece. I just thought personally, I didn't necessarily agree with Cam having him on his platform, but it ain't my platform. It's Cam's platform. I can't look Jason Whitlock in the face because I don't see a human there. I see a clout chaser and somebody who does anything for anything. So, but that's a whole different conversation. Media is messy, and that's what it is. And hopefully Cam and Stephen A. can, behind the scenes, can figure that part out. I just thought it was a bad look. I wouldn't have done it. I don't do that type of business.
We for sure wouldn't have done it, but we know Cam. We know 4th and 1 with him and Peggy. It's entertainment. The whole way they shoot it, the shots and all the stuff, it's supposed to be entertainment. So he brings them on, and I don't know where Stephen and Cam's relationship is, but we talked about it before. There's coworkers, there's teammates, there's friends, and there's your dogs. Like, there's different levels of this. And I don't know where Cam and him sit, but that was, you know, for him not to push back. For him to bring Jason on, no problem. Let's discuss this. But it wasn't a discussion. He just sat there, you know, and told lies pretty much. But on the other side of that, Stephen A. Smith had us over his house, had some delicious air-fried wings. He had the good lemonade, the good sweet tea. Stephen A. doesn't need any protection because he lit Jason Whitlock's ass up on his response. I love that Cam brought it out of him to make Stephen A. really go where he had to go with Jason because Jason went there with him. And he made a lot of good points. What does it matter how good he was at basketball?
Yeah.
Is Sham Sharania good at basketball?
What's his name?
Sham Sharania, or whatever his name. Like, these points they were bringing up were so goofy. And I like that Stephen had a chance to address the goofiness of his basketball career. And him being held back in the 4th grade. Who gives a damn? Please, I love the alley-oops. They was throwing Stephen A. Smith alley-oops. And you know he ain't gonna miss none of them. Even if he can't dunk it on the court, he gonna do it in the media.
Yeah.
So I love the fact, I'm gonna go the other way. I love what Cam did because now Stephen A. had the response. I watched it, I sent it to y'all. I watched that thing 25 times laughing. Yeah, go on, get him going. Watch what happens. I need some more F-Ride wings.
I think for me, I don't get to tell Cam how to conduct business on his platforms.
Right.
I also don't get to tell him how to manage his relationships, whether they be personal or work. So I won't speak on that specifically. I'll speak about me, how I see what we control. Mm-hmm. What I control is I never want to be tied into no buffoonery, ever. I don't believe all content is good content. I don't believe all publicity is good publicity. I don't think we have to be gossipy. I don't think we have to be messy. I don't think we have to always be chaotic. I don't always think that we have to create some level of drama. I don't want to be that person. If that's what I got to be for you to like me, I'd rather not be liked. Mm-hmm. That's me, right? That's what I want to do. The other thing I want to do, and you've been my friend long enough now, you know I don't play about my people. We've had conversations with people or been on shows with people and they go to start, that's my friend.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's somebody I'm close to. Now you get to say whatever you want, right? But we are going to know that there could be a personal issue because I'm not gonna let you talk about that person like that because of what they mean to me. That's how I am. That's how I'm always gonna be. And that's with Marcus, Mina, Laura, Dan, Stephen A. That's with y'all too. That's period, because that's how I wanna move. I want y'all to know that I'm not finna be talking behind y'all back, laughing at y'all, and then come in y'all face and smile. I'm not doing it, right? And so that's the way that I wanna move. And the other piece of it is this. I don't wanna platform evil. I don't wanna platform hate. I don't wanna platform dissension just because, right? I don't want to be connected to that. That doesn't mean I don't want to have conversations with people I don't agree with. Because you can do that, right? In this political climate, we've had many people on our show that we don't necessarily agree with them politically, and we've been able to have good conversations, right? I've even started to rethink some of the people we've had on the show, and it's like, okay, this person was accused of this thing or accused of this thing. How do we manage that to make sure we're being respectful to the people that view us? So to me, that's what's important, bro, that I'm never known for just saying silly, doing dumb stuff so people click on us and like us. I want to be impactful. I want to have a sense of integrity. I want to have a sense of loyalty, and that's me. That's what I want. Not saying that anybody else wants anything different, but that's the way I hope we continue to approach what we do.
And I say too, because I've had this since it happened, the camps, who was right, who was wrong. I've said this to a number of people. Cam, my dude, every time I go to Atlanta, I go hit Cam's food spot. Fellowship, Stephen A. Smith, every time I see him, like I said, he invites us to the crib.
Right.
Oh, they're beefing. No, I hope them two dudes get together and talk about this, and like, it's the Drake-Kendrick thing. Kendrick, you can get Kendrick, you can like Drake. That whole thing where people have to, now they're choosing sides. Man, that's goofball high school girl stuff. No, Cam's my dude. Right as we said, Cam's my dude. Every time I see Cam, I'm for it. Every time I see Steve,